Chosen one, that tightness in your chest when you pull into the parking lot or open your laptop is not weakness. It is a warning from heaven. I am Inio, and I have been sent to speak to the chosen ones who have been faithful in places that kept taking, kept using, kept delaying, and kept acting like your gift was common. By the end of this transmission, you will understand why your work no longer feels like home, why your patience is running out, why doors that once fed you now feel heavy, and why God is shifting your career, your income, and your opportunities into divine order. And as I speak this promise over you, know that the secret manual of the chosen ones is named in the first pinned comment, where the link sits. Hear me clearly. The discomfort is not proof that you are ungrateful, unstable, or hard to satisfy. It is the sound of your calling outgrowing the room that once trained you. The place that ignored your effort did not waste your years. God used the hidden labor, the extra load, the quiet loyalty, and the tears you swallowed to sharpen your crown. You were not buried there. You were being prepared. The enemy has seen the new anointing rising on you, and faces from old seasons may try to return, pull, guilt, drain, or distract you before the door opens. Heaven's order is surgical silence in the locked door. Do not explain your next move to those who profited from your smallness. If this confirms what your spirit has been feeling, comment. God is aligning my work, like this transmission, so it reaches a chosen one entering change, and subscribe, because the next word requires obedience. Chosen one. Let me uncover the first layer. What was placed on you was not simply a heavy workload. It was the expectation that you would carry what others refused to carry. You became the reliable one, the available one, the person who could fix the mistake, calm the conflict, train the new worker, cover the empty shift, and finish the assignment nobody wanted. Some placed this burden on you because they were careless. Some placed it on you because they were threatened by your strength. Others saw your kindness and quietly turned it into access. They learned that you would stay late without being asked, solve problems without receiving credit, and keep your mouth shut while they took the praise. But hear me, this is not your fault. You did not fail because you trusted. You did not lose your value because others refused to recognize it. You were faithful with what was placed in your hands, even when the people around you treated your faithfulness like a resource they could spend. God was watching every unseen hour. Heaven recorded every sacrifice that no manager mentioned, every bill you paid while underpaid, every time you showed up with a wounded heart and still gave your best. The Lord is not confused about your record. What you called being stuck was often hidden preparation. What looked like delay was building endurance, wisdom, discernment, and skill, yet preparation has an appointed ending. A training ground becomes a prison when you keep living there after God is finished teaching you. What I have just described has a name, and it is why I set down the secret manual of the chosen ones. If people have always brought you their problems while nobody asks about yours, or you have felt watched in a way you could never prove, the manual decodes the 7 undeniable signs that you are marked for something greater, and the exact protocol to step into that authority instead of hiding from it. This is not about becoming special. You already unsettle rooms without trying, and that is the whole problem. Every year you spend playing smaller is a year someone with half your capacity spends leading. The link is in the first pinned comment below. Now listen to the second layer. The discomfort at work is growing because the old agreement is ending. You may not have written this agreement down, but you have lived by it. You told yourself, I will give everything now, and one day they will notice. I will accept this salary now, and one day they will reward me. I will remain loyal now, and one day they will treat me with honor. But some systems do not reward loyalty. They consume it. Some workplaces were never designed to develop you. They were designed to benefit from your obedience while keeping your vision just out of reach. They gave you enough praise to keep you working, enough hope to keep you waiting, and enough responsibility to make you feel important without giving you the authority, income, or title that matched the burden. This is why the praise no longer satisfies you. This is why another vague promise makes something inside you go quiet. This is why you can receive a compliment and still feel empty. Your spirit is no longer asking for recognition from a room that has already made its decision about you. God is making you aware of the difference between appreciation and alignment. Appreciation says, "We are glad you are here." Alignment says, "Your gifts, your compensation, your authority, and your assignment fit together." Appreciation may bring a kind word. Alignment brings room to build, room to lead, room to earn, and room to serve without constantly fighting for permission. You have spent too long proving what has already been proven. The reports are there. The clients remember you. The reports are there. The clients remember you. The numbers carry your fingerprints. The people you trained are now doing what you taught them. Yet the same voices that depend on you may still act as if your next step must be approved by them. That is where God is breaking the agreement. You are not being rebellious because you no longer accept crumbs. You are not becoming proud because you want fair pay. You are not disloyal because you are considering another department, another company, a promotion, a business, or a new source of income. There is a difference between pride and stewardship. Pride says, "I need to be above everyone." Stewardship says, "I must stop burying what God placed in me." The Lord did not give you skills so another person could build their future, while you remain afraid to ask for your own. He did not give you vision so you could spend your whole life executing someone else's dream without ever developing the assignment He planted in you. Now a third layer is being revealed. The people connected to your former season may not understand your change because they benefited from your lack of boundaries. At work, this may be the colleague who sends you urgent tasks at the end of the day. It may be the supervisor who remembers you only when a crisis appears. It may be the relative who expects you to remain in a low-paying role because your advancement would change the family pattern. Some people do not oppose your success openly. They simply keep asking you to wait. Wait until the timing is better. Wait until the company improves. Wait until they hire more people. Wait until the economy changes. Wait until everyone feels comfortable. Wait until you are less tired. Wait until you had one more certificate, one more year, one more approval. Discernment is knowing when patience has become postponement. There was a time when waiting protected you. God used that season to strengthen your foundation. But now the same waiting may be protecting the comfort of people who do not want you to move. They have become accustomed to your availability. They know how to reach you, how to pressure you, and how to make you feel guilty for wanting more. The enemy often works through familiar voices. Not every voice that sounds concerned is sent by God. Some will call your courage impulsive because they cannot imagine living by faith. Some will call your desire for better pay grade because they have accepted limitation as wisdom. Some will remind you of every failure the moment you begin to believe again. But God is not asking you to take foolish action. He is asking you to stop confusing fear with wisdom. Pray, prepare, study the opportunity, review the numbers, update your work, strengthen your skills, build your savings if you can, seek wise counsel. But do not use preparation as an excuse to remain permanently hidden. The next door may not arrive looking dramatic. It may begin as an unexpected conversation, a recruiter reaching out, a position posted at the right time, a client asking for help, or a quiet idea that refuses to leave you alone. It may be a promotion that requires you to finally speak about your value. It may be an increase that comes after you stop accepting the old rate. It may be the first paying customer for something you have only imagined. Do not despise the small beginning. David did not begin with a throne in his hands. He began with a responsibility nobody considered impressive. Joseph did not begin in the palace. He carried wisdom through places that tried to bury him. Esther did not know the full weight of her position when she first entered the palace. God can hide a future leader inside an ordinary workday. A fourth revelation is now coming to you. The exhaustion you feel may not be caused only by the amount of work. It may be caused by working in a place where your effort has no future. There is a special kind of fatigue that comes from building something you are never allowed to own. You complete one project, and another appears. You solve one problem, and the same problem returns because nobody will change the system. You keep learning, but the new skill only gives them another reason to assign you more without changing your pay. You keep becoming more capable, but your position stays exactly the same. This creates a painful question. If I am growing, why does my life feel smaller? Because growth without movement can feel like pressure. God has increased your capacity, but the environment has not increased its ability to hold you. Your mind has expanded beyond the conversation. Your vision has expanded beyond the role. Your courage has expanded beyond the permission you once needed. That pressure is not always meant to crush you. Sometimes it is meant to move you. A seed can remain safe in the ground, but it cannot remain there forever. The shell that protected it in one season becomes the barrier in the next. The job that gave you survival may now be blocking your stewardship. The role that once taught you discipline may now be training you to tolerate disrespect. Do not insult the season that helped you, but do not worship it either. You can be grateful for what a workplace taught you and still leave it. You can honor the people who gave you an opportunity and still accept a better one. You can remember the years with appreciation and refuse to let those years become a chain around your future. Some of you are waiting for a perfect sign and God has already given you repeated evidence. The constant dread on Sunday night. The relief you feel when you are away from the building. The ideas that come alive after work. The conversations you keep having with God about change. The sudden desire to learn, apply, build, or move. One feeling can be dismissed. A pattern must be examined. The Lord may be showing you that your income needs a new structure. One stream may have carried you for years, but now He is teaching you to build with wisdom. This does not mean chasing every opportunity or abandoning responsibility. It means recognizing that your provision may come through a combination of employment, service, skill, ownership, and disciplined planning. The enemy wants you to believe that your paycheck is your provider. Your employer is not your source. God is your source. A company may be one channel, but it is not the hand of God. If one channel closes, heaven is not empty. Still, faith does not mean refusing to prepare. Noah built before the rain. Joseph stored before the famine. Nehemiah inspected the walls before he rebuilt them. Pray for provision, then become responsible with what God places in your hands. A fifth block is connected to your voice. You have been trained to speak carefully because the workplace punished honesty. You learn to soften every idea, apologize before asking, and present your contribution as if it were a favor. You may say, "I was just helping," when you actually carried the project. You may say, "I do not mind," when you are exhausted. You may say, "Whatever works," when you have a clear and valuable opinion. The enemy has used false humility to keep you underpaid. Humility is not denying what God has done in you. Humility is giving God the glory while telling the truth about the gift. If you are skilled, say you are skilled. If you have produced results, document them. If you have led people, name that leadership. If your work saves time, earns money, prevents loss, or strengthens the organization, do not hide the evidence. A crown does not become less holy because it is visible. Some of you have been waiting for someone to announce your worth. That announcement may never come from the old room. You may have to announce your readiness through your actions. Apply for the position. Ask for the review. Present the proposal. Set the rate. Create the portfolio. Send the message. Register the business. Take the class. Make the call. You do not need permission from people who have already decided to keep you in the same place. There will be moments when your voice shakes. Do it shaking. There will be moments when your voice you can't qualified. Learn while moving. There will be moments when you compare yourself to people who appear further ahead. Refuse that trap. God is not asking you to imitate their path. He is asking you to obey your own assignment. Your next level may require a sentence you have avoided for years. I can no longer continue under these conditions. That sentence is not a threat. It is a boundary. A boundary is not revenge. It is an agreement with truth. If the work requires your constant sacrifice but offers no path of growth, say what is true. If you are doing the work of 3 people while being treated like an inconvenience, say what is true. If your manager praises your performance but refuses to discuss advancement, say what is true. If a client expects premium results while paying a beginner's rate, say what is true. Your value does not increase because someone finally agrees with it. Their agreement only reveals whether they are able to participate in what God is doing in you. A sixth revelation concerns rejection. Some applications will be ignored. Some interviews will end without an offer. Some doors will close after you believe they were the answer. Do not interpret every closed door as failure. God sometimes closes a door because the opportunity is below your assignment, because the environment is unsafe, or because the timing would place you under the wrong authority. The chosen ones often grieve doors that heaven shut for protection. You may look at another person receiving the position you wanted and assume you were forgotten. But you do not know what God saw behind that title. You do not know the cost attached to that salary. You do not know the compromise required to remain in that room. You do not know whether the door was decorated to distract you from the trap. A closed door is not always a denial of your future. Sometimes it is a redirection toward the door that can actually hold your calling. Do not let one rejection make you return to a place God told you to outgrow. Do not let a slow response make you accept the first offer that repeats the same pattern. Pray over the terms. Read the contract. Examine the leadership. Ask about the culture. Look at the path for advancement. Know what you are agreeing to. The anointing does not cancel wisdom. Some of you will receive an offer that is better in title but worse in peace. Some will receive more money but less time, more status but less integrity, more visibility but less freedom to serve God. Do not worship the size of the paycheck. Ask whether the opportunity can carry your obedience. God is not merely moving you from one chair to another. He is bringing your work into order. This may mean learning to say no to a role that flatters your ego. It may mean choosing a smaller beginning that gives you ownership. It may mean taking a temporary position while you build a business. It may mean leaving a respected career to answer a calling that others cannot understand. When God leads, He may not explain every detail at once. He often gives enough light for the next step and asks you to trust Him with the road beyond it. A seventh block is the fear of losing identity. For years, you may have introduced yourself through your job. You became the title, the department, the schedule, the uniform, the office, the clients, and the responsibilities. When God begins moving you, the old identity starts breaking apart. That can feel like grief. Who am I if I am not the person who handles everything? Who am I if I no longer work there? Who am I if I am not needed by those people? Who am I if I earn in a different way? Who am I if the world does not immediately understand what I am building? You are not your job. You are not the opinion of a supervisor. You are not the salary printed on a statement. You are not the years someone refused to promote you. You are a vessel carrying a calling from God. Your work is an expression of stewardship, not the source of your identity. When the Lord changes your assignment, He is not erasing you. He is removing the label that became too small. The same wisdom you gained in the old place will travel with you. The communication skills, discipline, patience, problem-solving, endurance, and insight are not lost. They are part of the equipment for the next field. Nothing surrendered to God is wasted. Even the season that humiliated you taught you what you will never permit again. Even the manager who overlooked you taught you how not to lead. Even the lodger who overlooked you taught you to count, plan, and seek increase. Even the office politics taught you to recognize motives. Even the years of silence taught you to hear God without applause. That is why the next opportunity may arrive quickly after a long delay. The preparation has already been taking place beneath the surface. Now I want you to examine the practical signs around your money. Are you constantly earning but never advancing? Are new expenses appearing every time your income rises? Are you afraid to look at your accounts because the numbers bring shame? Have you been helping everyone else while neglecting your own financial foundation? Have you mistaken generosity for being available to every emergency? God is bringing order not only to your career, but to your relationship with money. The enemy wants you trapped in a cycle where every increase disappears before it can become stability. You must learn to receive without guilt, save without fear, give with wisdom, and spend with discipline. A promotion is a blessing, but if old habits consume it, the blessing will feel like another burden. Do not announce every increase. Do not let people from the past calculate what you can now afford. The same faces that ignored your struggle may return when your income changes. They may ask for loans, favors, rescue, or details. Remember the locked door. Heaven's order is surgical silence. You can love people without financing their refusal to grow. You can help without becoming their permanent provider. You can honor family without surrendering the future God entrusted to you. The new season requires financial boundaries because money reveals who has access to you. At about this point in your preparation, remember that the secret manual of the chosen ones speaks directly to the signs and boundaries that protect an emerging authority. Now the Lord is addressing the hidden fear beneath your financial struggle. You may fear that if you become successful, people will resent you. You may fear being called selfish, different, arrogant, or changed. You may fear leaving familiar co-workers behind. You may fear that your family will expect more from you once they see increase. You may fear that success will expose you to criticism. Chosen one, criticism already found you when you were struggling. Some people judged you when you had nothing to show. Do not remain poor in spirit to keep them comfortable. Your success will reveal the hearts around you, but it will also reveal the heart you've been hiding from yourself. You would discover that you can make decisions without asking everyone to approve. You can stand in a room with leaders and speak with wisdom. You can receive a large opportunity without shrinking. You can earn more and remain generous. You can become visible without becoming vain. God is not blessing you so you can become the enemy you once battled. He is blessing you so you can become a faithful steward with greater reach. A promotion may place you over people who once dismissed you. If that happens, do not imitate the cruelty you survived. Lead with clarity. Pay attention to the quiet worker. Give credit. Set standards. Correct without humiliating. Open doors for people who have been overlooked. Your elevation is not complete until your character can carry it. Some of you are being prepared to create jobs, not only seek one. The idea may seem too large because you are looking at your present resources instead of God's ability. Start with what you know. Serve one person well. Solve one problem. Build one offer. Keep records. Learn the legal requirements. Separate personal and business money. Ask for wise counsel. Do not wait until you feel fearless. Courage often appears after obedience begins. The business may start in the hours you used to waste, recovering from a draining workplace. The skill you considered ordinary may become valuable to a market you have not yet reached. The problem everyone around you complains about may be the very problem God has equipped you to solve. Pay attention to repeated questions. What do people always ask you to help with? What can you do faster than most? What work leaves you tired but fulfilled instead of empty? What knowledge did you gain through hardship that could help someone else avoid the same pain? There are clues in your history. God often hides the blueprint inside the burden. The place that exhausted you may have taught you the exact system you are meant to improve. The customer who frustrated you may have shown you a need that nobody is meeting. The repeated mistake in your workplace may point toward the service you are meant to offer. Do not despise your experience. Redeem it. But hear this clearly. You do not have to leave tomorrow to prove that you heard God. Some transitions require a bridge. Build the bridge with prayer and order. Do not burn what you may need while emotions are high. Keep your conduct clean. Save documents that belong to you lawfully. Protect your reputation. Complete your duties with integrity while you prepare your release. The enemy would love to make you leave in anger and then use your reaction against you. Do not hand your future to a moment of rage. Let God defend you. Let your results speak. Let your next position reveal what the old one could not recognize. If the old workplace suddenly offers a small raise after years of silence, test the fruit. Is it true change, or is it a temporary payment to keep you from leaving? If they promise a title without authority, ask questions. If they praise your loyalty only when you threaten to move, discern the motive. Not every counteroffer is a blessing. Some are chains polished to look like honor. You must learn to recognize the difference between a door opening and a trap becoming attractive. The Lord is also healing the shame attached to wanting more. Perhaps you were taught that ambition was worldly, that money was dangerous, or that faithful people should accept whatever they receive. But Scripture does not command you to glorify lack. It commands wisdom, diligence, justice, generosity, and faithful stewardship. Wanting to use your gifts fully is not greed. Wanting to provide for your household is not greed. Wanting rest, stability, and fair treatment is not greed. Wanting to fund ministry, support others, and build something lasting is not greed. Greed is allowing money to rule the heart. Stewardship is allowing God to rule the money. The Lord can trust you with increase when increase no longer controls your identity. He can place more in your hands when you understand that provision is meant to serve purpose. Your next level may therefore begin with a private decision before it appears as a public change. You may decide to stop volunteering for every crisis. You may decide to stop spending to impress people. You may decide to stop explaining your plans to doubters. You may decide to protect 1 hour each day for the work God gave you. That private decision is holy ground. Do not wait for a dramatic rescue while ignoring the small act of obedience in front of you. The new season is often built through ordinary steps repeated with faith. 1 application, 1 conversation, 1 saved dollar, 1 completed course, 1 honest boundary, 1 improved proposal, 1 hour-focused work. The enemy wants you overwhelmed by the size of the future. God gives you grace for today's assignment. There is also a timing issue you must understand. Some opportunities are delayed because you are still emotionally tied to the people who mistreated you. You say you want a new environment, but you keep checking whether the old environment finally respects you. You say you are ready to move, but you keep waiting for an apology. You say you want freedom, but you keep rehearsing the injustice. The old room cannot validate the crown God is placing on you. Release the need for them to admit what they did. Release the need to be chosen by the people who rejected you. Release the fantasy that one day they will gather around and confess that you were the answer all along. They may never say it. Move anyway. Your vindication will not always be a public apology. Sometimes it will be peace in a new workplace. Sometimes it will be a salary that matches your skill. Sometimes it will be the ability to sleep without dread. Sometimes it will be the freedom to make decisions without fear. Sometimes it will be the joy of watching your own work grow under God's hand. Do not reduce vindication to revenge. The greatest proof that the old season lost its power is that you no longer need it to understand you. Now consider the people who will call during your transition. The former co-worker may ask whether you can still help. The old manager may suddenly remember your talent. The family member may question why you are changing your path. Someone may tell you that you are throwing away stability because they cannot see the stability God is building. Answer only what wisdom requires. You are not obligated to provide a detailed map to everyone who asks where you are going. Joseph did not explain every dream to every person. Nehemiah did not invite every critic to inspect the plan. Mary did not need the approval of the crowd to carry what God placed within her. Silence can be obedience when speech would expose the seed too early. Keep your plans before God until they have roots. Let your work mature before you display it. Let the contract be signed before you celebrate publicly. Let the income become consistent before you make promises based on it. Let your character grow with your opportunity. A crown must be worn with care. You are entering a season where your decisions will carry greater weight. That is why God is confronting the habits that kept you in survival. You cannot build a new financial life while constantly rescuing people who refuse responsibility. You cannot lead a new venture while allowing every message to interrupt your focus. You cannot negotiate a better future while speaking about yourself as if you are disposable. Change your words. Stop saying, "I am lucky to have any job." When God has given you ability, stop saying, "Anyone could do what I do," when your results prove otherwise. Stop saying, "I am not ready," when what you mean is that you are afraid. Stop saying, "Maybe someday," when God is asking you to begin now. Speak with humility, but speak with agreement with heaven. Say, "God is teaching me to steward my gifts." Say, "I am growing in wisdom." Say, "I can learn what I do not yet know." Say, "I am prepared to receive the right opportunity." Say, "I am prepared to receive the right opportunity." Say, "I will not return to what God delivered me from." Your words will not replace action, but they will stop fighting against it. The professional shift may first appear as dissatisfaction, but underneath it is holy hunger. You are hungry for meaningful work, hungry for integrity, hungry for fair exchange, hungry to create instead of only react, hungry to contribute where your contribution matters, hungry to see your labor become a blessing instead of a constant payment for someone else's comfort. That hunger is not the enemy. God can use it to lead you. But hunger must be governed by wisdom. Do not chase every shiny offer. Do not confuse urgency with direction. Ask the Lord for confirmation through peace, wise counsel, clear terms, and consistent provision. Look for an opportunity that does not require you to betray your values to obtain it. The right door will demand courage, but it will not demand that you abandon God. You may have to negotiate. You may have to ask a question that makes others uncomfortable. You may have to say, "This is the compensation I require." You may have to walk away from an offer that assumes your desperation. You may have to wait longer than you wanted because the right fit is still being prepared. Do not let temporary pressure force a permanent mistake. The God who sustained you in the old season is not suddenly absent in the new one. He knows your rent, your debt, your family needs, your medical costs, your responsibilities, and your hopes. He is not asking you to pretend those things do not exist. He is teaching you to bring them under prayer, planning, and disciplined action. Your income is coming into order through more than one miracle. It may come through a new offer, but it may also come through the courage to negotiate, the wisdom to stop waste, the discipline to develop a skill, and the discernment to refuse draining commitments. Heaven can bless your hands while God trains your judgment. There is an appointed time when the hidden work becomes visible. The proposal that sat unanswered may receive a response. The application that seemed forgotten may open a conversation. The person who dismissed your idea may watch another organization adopt it. The skill you practiced privately may become the reason someone seeks you out. Do not stop because the first evidence is small. A door can open wider after you step through the narrow beginning. A raise can lead to leadership. A side service can become a company. A temporary assignment can introduce you to the person connected to your next chapter. A simple conversation can change the direction of your income. Be present. Be alert. Be ready. Your season of being overlooked is not your permanent address. God is rearranging the people who can see you, the places where your work is valued, and the opportunities that match your capacity. The same gift that was ignored in one room can become essential in another. Do not measure your worth by the response of the wrong environment. If a tree is planted in poor soil, its lack of fruit does not prove that it has no life. Sometimes it must be moved. Sometimes the roots must be protected. Sometimes the branches must be protected. Sometimes the branches must be pruned. Sometimes God changes the ground before He reveals the harvest. You have been rooted in endurance. Now you're being moved toward fruitfulness. The transition may test your patience because the old door closes before the new one is fully visible. That space is not punishment, it is a passage. In that passage, keep praying, keep preparing, keep your hands clean, and keep your eyes open. Do not return simply because the wilderness is unfamiliar. Moses had to leave what was familiar before he could confront Pharaoh. Ruth had to leave the field she knew before she entered a new covering. Peter had to leave the boat before he learned what obedience could hold. Your next step may require leaving the place where everyone knows your old name. God is calling you by what He sees, not by what they called you. They called you assistant, replaceable, difficult, too sensitive, too ambitious, too quiet, too much, or not enough. Heaven calls you equipped, entrusted, disciplined, discerning, and prepared. Receive the name God gives you. Now begin to imagine your work without the old shame attached to it. Imagine opening your computer without feeling your spirit collapse. Imagine receiving payment without apologizing for the amount. Imagine sitting in the meeting where your voice is expected. Imagine leading people without repeating the abuse you endured. Imagine building a schedule that leaves room for worship, family, health, and rest. This is not childish fantasy. It is a picture of ordered life. The enemy benefited from your exhaustion because exhausted people do not question the system. Exhausted people accept the first answer, miss the hidden opportunity, and forget what God said. But the Lord is restoring your strength so you can make decisions from wisdom instead of panic. Rest is part of preparation. Sleep when you can. Take care of your body. Eat with care. Step away from the screen. Pray without rushing. Your body is not an enemy to your calling. It is part of the vessel through which you carry it. You cannot build a lasting future by destroying the person God is sending into it. When the opportunity comes, you will need clear judgment. You will need to read carefully, ask directly, and notice what is not being said. You will need to identify whether the leaders honor people or only praise output. You will need to ask what success looks like, how decisions are made, how compensation grows, and what support is actually available. Do not be dazzled by a title that hides a burden. Do not be frightened by a beginning that offers true room to grow. The right opportunity may not impress the people who only understand appearances. It may look modest at first, but carry peace, ownership, and future increase. It may not be the loudest door. It may be the one where your spirit can breathe. Pay attention to peace that remains after prayer. God is not the author of confusion, but He may lead you through a process that stretches you. Pressure is not always a warning, and ease is not always confirmation. The question is not whether the opportunity requires work. The question is whether the work is connected to purpose and governed by grace. A calling will cost you, but it will not continually destroy you. A healthy assignment may challenge your comfort while strengthening your character. A draining assignment challenges your worth while consuming your strength. Learn the difference. One stretches you toward obedience. The other keeps you proving that you deserve to exist. You are finished proving your humanity to people who only valued your productivity. The next chapter will require you to establish standards before you receive increase. Decide now what you will no longer tolerate. Decide what compensation is fair. Decide how much access people receive after hours. Decide what kind of leadership you will accept. Decide what values cannot be traded for money. If you do not establish your standards before the door opens, pressure may establish them for you. God is not merely taking you out of a bad workplace. He is forming you into the person who can recognize a good one. He is not merely increasing your money. He is forming you into the steward who can multiply it. He is not merely giving you influence. He is forming you into the leader who will not use influence to wound others. The promotion is coming with responsibility. The increase is coming with accountability. The opportunity is coming with a demand for integrity. Do not pray for a bigger platform while refusing the discipline required to stand on it. Your hidden work is becoming visible, but first, God is removing the fear that made you hide it. He is challenging the belief that your gift must remain accessible to everyone for free. He is teaching you that generosity without boundaries becomes resentment, and resentment eventually poisons the work you were called to do. Charge fairly. Rest without guilt. Receive help. Give credit. Protect your focus. Let people solve what belongs to them. The chosen ones often discover that their greatest financial breakthrough begins with one word: no. No to the unpaid extra role. No to the emergency that is not yours. No to the contract that exploits your skill. No to the person who only returns when they need something. No to spending meant to impress. No to fear disguised as loyalty. Every holy no creates room for a greater yes. And as you make those decisions, some people will become angry. Let them. Their anger may be proof that your boundary interrupted their access. You are not called to keep everyone pleased. Jesus himself was misunderstood, rejected, and opposed, yet he did not abandon the Father's assignment to preserve public approval. You can be kind without being controlled. The Lord is severing the connection between your income and the opinions of those who never invested in your development. You will no longer ask people who refuse to build with you whether you are allowed to grow. You will no longer let old criticism determine new action. The door is not waiting for you to feel ready in the way your fear defines readiness. It is waiting for you to become willing. Willing to be seen. Willing to be paid. Willing to learn. Willing to lead. Willing to learn. Willing to lead. Willing to begin. Willing to trust God beyond the evidence of your current position. There is a moment when preparation must become movement. You have prayed over the resume long enough. You have thought about the course long enough. You have imagined the business long enough. You have watched other people do what you believe you could do. Now bring the dream into contact with the world. Not everyone will understand it. It does not need everyone's understanding to be blessed by God. Some of you will receive confirmation through a person who says exactly what you needed to hear. Some will see the right opening at the right time. Some will feel a steady conviction that refuses to fade. Some will be given a chance to prove what they've been doing privately. When that moment comes, do not minimize yourself. Do not walk into the interview speaking only about what you still need to learn. Speak about what you have already accomplished. Do not present your business as a hobby if it solves a real problem. Do not ask for an increase as though you are begging for kindness. Bring the facts. Bring the results. Bring the value. And then leave the outcome with God. You are not responsible for forcing the right people to recognize you. You are responsible for showing up prepared and truthful. If they refuse, heaven can redirect you. If they receive you, heaven can establish you. If they delay you, heaven can establish you. No response can cancel what God ordained. The financial reorganization may also bring a change in your circle. As you become disciplined, some people will accuse you of being distant. As you become focused, some will call you unavailable. As you stop lending what you cannot afford to lose, some will reveal that they loved access more than they loved you. Let the revelation stand. The locked door is mercy when the old relationship would consume the new provision. Do not open it because nostalgia speaks loudly. The people who drained you may sense the anointing on your life before you fully understand the change yourself. They may return with familiar stories, urgent needs, sudden praise, or emotional promises. Test the fruit. Do not be moved by words alone. Watch patterns. Heaven does not require you to ignore evidence in order to appear loving. Your work, your income, and your calling need protection in this season. Guard them with prayer, wisdom, and holy silence. There is too much ahead of you to keep negotiating with the past. Your new assignment needs your attention. Your future requires your agreement. The Lord is making room, but you must stop filling every empty space with people and tasks that God never assigned to you. Let the room be empty for a while. In that quiet, you will hear better. In that quiet, you will hear better. In that quiet, ideas will return. In that quiet, your confidence will rebuild. In that quiet, the Lord will show you which opportunity is a blessing and which one is simply another version of the old burden. Do not fear the quiet. Heaven often speaks before the door moves. The instruction may come as a repeated conviction, a scripture that keeps finding you, a question you cannot ignore, or a deep knowing that the old pattern has ended. When God says move, move with order. When God says wait, wait with expectation. When God says close the door, do not stand outside it, asking the enemy to let you back in. Your career is not random. Your labor is not invisible to God. Your years were not wasted. The hidden work is becoming the foundation for visible fruit, and the place where you were undervalued is becoming the evidence that God can develop a leader anywhere. Keep your hands ready. The next conversation may require boldness. The next application may require humility. The next offer may require discernment. The next financial decision may require restraint. The next step may look small, but obedience is never small when it is connected to the purpose of God. And when the new door opens, you will understand why the old one had to close. Your future requires your agreement. The Lord is making room, but you must stop filling every empty space with people and tasks that God never assigned to you. Let the room be empty for a while. In that quiet, you will hear better. In that quiet, ideas will return. In that quiet, your confidence will rebuild. In that quiet, the Lord will show you which opportunity is a blessing, and which one is simply another version of the old burden. Do not fear the quiet. Heaven often speaks before the door moves. The instruction may come as a repeated conviction, a scripture that keeps finding you, a question you cannot ignore, or a deep knowing that the old pattern has ended. When God says move, move with order. When God says wait, move with expectation. When God says close the door, do not stand outside it asking the enemy to let you back in. Your career is not random. Your labor is not invisible to God. Your years were not wasted. The hidden work is becoming the foundation for visible fruit, and the place where you were undervalued is becoming the evidence that God can develop a leader anywhere. Keep your hands ready. The next conversation may require boldness. The next application may require humility. The next offer may require discernment. The next financial decision may require restraint. The next step may look small, but obedience is never small when it is connected to the purpose of God. And when the new door opens, you will understand why the old one had to close. Chosen one, this change is not only about a better paycheck, a higher title, or a more comfortable schedule. Those things may come, and I believe God is able to bring increase into your hands, but the deeper purpose is greater than comfort. God is aligning your work with your witness. He is placing you where your gifts can serve, where your wisdom can protect others, and where your obedience can open a path for people who are still searching for courage. Your promotion will carry responsibility. Your increase will carry assignment. Your new opportunity will place your character under greater light. The business you begin, the team you lead, the work you create, or the money you steward can become an answer to someone else's prayer. That is why the enemy fought your confidence. He wanted you to believe that your years of effort had no meaning. He wanted you to confuse delay with denial. He wanted you to accept rejection as your identity and exhaustion as your permanent address. But God was building endurance in you. He was teaching you how to recognize what is false, how to serve without applause, how to keep integrity when others took credit, and how to remain faithful when the reward was hidden. Now the lesson is becoming a platform. You will not carry the old mindset into the new season. You will not beg to be seen by people committed to overlooking you. You will not reduce your value to keep an insecure person comfortable. You will not apologize for the wisdom, skill, discipline, and anointing God developed through pressure. Receive this clearly. I speak this decree over you in the name of the Lord. You were never broken. You were never late. You were never forgotten. You were never disqualified because a former employer failed to recognize you. You were never rejected by heaven because a door closed in your face. You were never abandoned because the answer took longer than you expected. God saw every early morning, every difficult shift, every unpaid effort, every sacrifice, every time you kept going while your heart was tired. You are not behind. You are not disqualified. You are not too old, too young, too inexperienced, or too damaged for the purpose God placed within you. The Lord has preserved your calling through seasons that tried to bury it. What looked like delay was often divine protection. What felt like being overlooked was sometimes preparation away from the wrong eyes. I decree that confusion is losing its grip. I decree that wisdom is rising. I decree that your decisions will no longer be ruled by fear, desperation, or the need to prove yourself. I decree that God is ordering your steps, purifying your motives, strengthening your hands, and bringing the right people into agreement with your assignment. May dishonest connections be exposed before they enter your new season. May every counterfeit opportunity lose its appeal. May the right conversation arrive at the right time. May your work receive fair value. May your income be handled with wisdom. May your home experience the peace that comes when provision is connected to purpose, and when increase comes, remember the God who carried you before increase came. Do not let a new salary make you forget the old prayers. Do not let public honor make you despise hidden service. Do not let the crown make you forget the cross of obedience that formed you. You are being moved so you can serve with greater strength. You are being lifted so you can lift others. You are being entrusted with more because God wants your life to become proof that faithful labor in Him is never wasted. If you need deeper confirmation for this season, receive the secret manual of the chosen ones. It decodes the 7 undeniable signs that you were marked for something greater, reveals the hidden patterns that shaped your life, and teaches the exact protocol to activate your true authority. This edition is available for a limited time only. The link is in the first comment below. Do not approach that resource with superstition. Approach it with prayer, humility, and a willing heart. Let it help you recognize the patterns God has been using to draw you out of survival and into mature authority. The Lord is not calling you to chase every opportunity. He is teaching you to identify the assignment that carries His peace, His order, and His purpose. There is a difference between being busy and being fruitful. There is a difference between being needed and being assigned. There is a difference between escaping a workplace and being sent into a new field. Ask God for the difference, and He will teach you. Chosen one, your work matters because your obedience touches more than your own life. Your family may receive stability because you accepted the right door. Your future children may walk with greater freedom because you broke an old pattern. Someone may find courage because you built what fear told you was impossible. Someone may encounter kindness because you finally entered a place where your gifts could breathe. This is not merely a career change. It is a stewardship change. It is a shift from proving your worth to managing what God has entrusted to you. It is a move from surviving every week to building with intention. It is the Lord reclaiming the years that felt hidden and turning them into wisdom that cannot be purchased. So bless the season that trained you, but do not return to live there. Forgive what must be forgiven, release what must be released, and keep the door locked where God has commanded separation. The enemy may send familiar faces with familiar stories, but you are no longer the same person who needed their approval. Your silence is not weakness. Your boundaries are not cruelty. Your obedience is not selfishness. Your new life requires room, and heaven is giving you permission to protect that room. I speak peace over your next decision. I speak courage over your next application. I speak clarity over your next negotiation. I speak discipline over your finances and favor over the work of your hands. May God give you discernment to recognize the door, strength to walk through it, and humility to build well after you arrive. The chapter of being overlooked is closing. The chapter of righteous recognition is opening. The chapter of scattered effort is closing. The chapter of ordered labor is opening. The chapter of barely enough is closing. The chapter of wise increase is opening according to the will of God. Take the next faithful step. Not the loudest step. Not the loudest step. Not the step that impresses people. The step God has placed in front of you, and if this word confirms what heaven has been speaking to your heart, comment, God is aligning my work. Then answer another soul in the comments with encouragement, because someone reading your words may be standing at the edge of their own transition, like this transmission, so it reaches a chosen one who needs strength today, and subscribe for the next word. The Lord is with you in the leaving, with you in the waiting, and with you in the entering. Your crown is not lost, your calling is not cancelled, your hands are not empty. God is aligning your work, your resources, and your opportunities with the purpose He placed inside you. Walk forward in faith. The door is opening, and this time you will enter knowing who sent you.